to empower Bahamians locally. I'm Joan Davis-Roll. I'll tell you more about it in the story coming up.
The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, the Bishop of the Catholic Diocese on Grand Bahama today. His Grace Archbishop Patrick Pender reaffirming the diocese's commitment to Catholic education here on Grand Bahama. Sabrina Brown reports.
Making history.
The Catholic Diocese is celebrating 125 years of Catholic education in the country. Over the years, officials have been faced with economic challenges on Grand Bahama, which led to the closure of the St. Vincent de Paul campus and the amalgamation of the Grand Bahama Catholic High and Mary Star of the Sea primary schools. Archbishop of Nassau, the Most Reverend Patrick Pender, says making those decisions wasn't easy.
We have traveled a journey through sunshine and rain, through clear air and turbulence. But we got to the point where, according to our promise, we were able to open that amalgamated campus for the start of this current school year. I'm very pleased that we've been able to do that. I'm pleased to see the young people here in their new uniforms expressing a whole new life, a whole new lease on life in Catholic education here in Grand Bahama.
The Archbishop says the diocese is committed to keeping Catholic education alive on Grand Bahama.
It took a lot of resources on the part of the Archdiocese of Nassau to bring us to this day. And that commitment in resources is an expression of the Church for the pastoral concern of the families here in Grand Bahama. And that concern will never waver. It will never waver, despite whatever challenges we face.
Minister for Grand Bahama, Dr. Michael Darville, says Catholic education has made an indelible mark on Grand Bahama, and he highlighted the importance of a good education.
It does not matter who you are, where you have come from, what is your present circumstance today. The issue is that you can be whatever you want to be through hard work, through discipline, and obedience to those who are responsible and who are responsible for your care.
Following the special assembly, Archbishop Pender and other dignitaries were taken on a tour of the campus where they participated in the blessing of the new buildings. Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
The nation's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister responsible for urban development set to address a troubling issue here on the island of Grand Bahama. Joan Davis-Roll reports.
As police officials attempt to stem the tide of crime, the proliferation of dangerous drugs within various crime-ridden communities remains a concern. A greater concern, though, is the amount of males who have fallen prey to laced drugs and is said to be having a devastating impact on a growing number of young men. Deputy Director of Urban Renewal here on Grand Bahama, Michelle Reckley.
We are about to explore the minds of our young men through mental health awareness. As you know, this center is situated in the Garden Willis area, and while there are some good, there's also some bad in this area, and we have to be able to face it. We see it on a daily basis in our walkabout, where we see young men frequent in this area to involve themselves in bad activities such as purchasing drugs, and some of them even in their school uniforms are in this area. And what brought us to this point is recently we had several young men who came from that area in a very depressed state. One collapsed out here on the field. Mother had to have been called in, of course had some drugs and it was bad, and what happens to him after that? Had to be taken into hospital, and who knows what happens. We know what happened after that, not being able to live a normal life anymore because either he was laced or given something bad.
Experts are finding that the damage caused by the contaminated drugs is sometimes irreversible.
We are hoping that we will be able to save every single one. Sometimes it seems impossible, but we are sure that this message will reach some young men who thought that drugs was the way or who thought it was the right thing to do. Because they go to school and the teachers cannot do it all. The teachers cannot give all. And sometimes we have problems in the school and we don't know where it stemmed from. They leave home in the morning all dressed and good to go to school, and they end up other places before they go to school. And some of these young men even take these packages on the campus. And teachers will then become challenged.
The Urban Renewal Center in Pine Ridge is a site for the one-day forum. Urban Renewal officials are busy finalizing plans for the event. The forum seeks to tackle this issue, and at the forefront will be the nation's deputy leader.
Our keynote speaker for Friday is going to be none other than our Deputy Prime Minister, who is, of course, the Minister of Works and Urban Development. And we're going to bring in the professionals, Dr. Kilafo Colley, who will be speaking to these young men about how drugs can affect them mentally and the effect that drugs actually leave on them after using it for so many years and for so long. And then, of course, we cannot do anything without the help of the Almighty God. So we're going to involve all of the churches in the area, and we're going to be hearing from young, dynamic, motivational speakers like Minister Kyle, Minister Marvin Weish, and of course we're going to have our very own Minister for Grand Bahama, Dr. Michael Darwell.
John Davis Rowe, ZNS Network News.
Well, the Grand Bahama Humane Society is at a crossroad tonight. The shelter for animals could soon close its doors if adequate financial support is not secured soon. Kimberly Mullings has the story.
The Humane Society is one of the oldest nonprofit organizations in Grand Bahama. As the human population has increased on the island, so has the society, making it the largest animal shelter in the Bahamas. President Joseph Darville says it's unfortunate that the Humane Society is in danger of closing due to lack of support.
It is indeed a very, very sad occasion, for we're making it known today that we are potentially on the verge of having to shut down these particular facilities, which have been so essential in Grand Bahama since 1968.
Elizabeth Burrows, the executive director at the Humane Society, finds the contributions they are receiving just isn't enough to keep the shelter providing the same level of service. The society has even had to pay the government over $1,500 due to the canine distemper virus outbreak in Nassau, which hasn't affected any of the dogs here in Grand Bahama, which has set them back.
The Grand Bahama Port Authority, who we're very grateful to, funds us to a certain extent in exchange for us providing animal control services within the bonded area of Freeport. The Bahamas government has never provided one penny towards the work we do, and they provide no animal services on Grand Bahama.
Burrows adds that the lack of assistance from the government and the public has forced the organization into a financial dilemma. As of January 28th, the Humane Society will close the shelter to intake for 1 month. It can end up being longer.
We cannot pay all our bills. We cannot pay our staff. Since the first of the year, we have laid off 3 staff, and more layoffs may be imminent. We must drastically reduce the number of animals we care for.
Pet overpopulation is a community problem, according to the Humane Society of Grand Bahama. But there are little ways that you can help.
We also need more of the community to support us. Donate, volunteer, adopt, attend our fundraisers. Please be responsible pet owners. Spay and neuter your pets and commit to them for life.
Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
In other news, a new national death benefit package has been designed by local businessman attorney LaQuay Lang, operator of Emporium Distributors, says this program will assist Bahamian families during their time of bereavement. Every Bahamian qualifies for the package. Businessman Mario Donato supports this initiative.
It's a program akin to what we usually call in the Family Islands a burial society, where persons are able to join for a standard application fee of $5 with the option of taking out either a $5,000 death benefit package plan or a $10,000 death benefit package plan for weekly payments of either $5 a week or $6 a week. And essentially how it works, once persons would have joined, after making a minimum of 52 contributions, should a person die, we would offer to their families an all-expense paid funeral to the value of the package taken out. There are no test requirements, there are no age limits, and persons are welcome to join.
Genius idea. this day and age. Everybody should have one of these brochure. Look at it, and I support it 100%.
The Honorable Fred Mitchell and Minister for Grand Bahama, Dr. Michael Darville, commending LINE for venturing out and producing a positive initiative for the island.
And Foxhill often have the issue of how do you pay for the last expenses of a loved one. And while there is some support from the government, the death benefit from national insurance is $1,500. And the support you get from social services is a one-time payment of $650. But funeral expenses often exceed that. So this is one prudent way with a small investment to look after one's expenses without leaving a burden on your own family.
You can prepare way in advance for the inevitable or the unexpected. So today it's really a pleasure for me to be here, to see first of all how this business is growing by leaps and bounds, and to really demonstrate to the community of Grand Bahama that you must step out with confidence, with new ideas. For young people out there who may be looking at this example, it's important to follow your dreams. You know, in our economy there is difficulty with job, but at the same time, you can be your own boss by developing unique ideas, sticking to it, and working hard.
Stay with us, there's more news right after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. A good showing this weekend for the first ever health fair held at the Sir Charles Hayward Library. The fair examined non-communicable diseases in students, and coordinators were more than impressed with the response. Ricardo Lightborn has the story.
Lectures on healthcare and the theme, Healthy Bahamas, Early Beginner. Dental exams for children was a part of the health fair. The exhibit explained to children the importance of dental care. Health screening, blood pressure checks, and information was the order of the day. Immunization also for those who missed out, and yes, even the flu shot if desired. Nurse Yvonne Clark of the Grand Bahama Health Services said the health fair was timely and a success.
Of starting up a healthy lifestyle. That is screening for the children, checking their blood pressure, their height, the weight, the blood sugar. And of course, with doing the screening, we are able to identify at-risk persons. Those kids that we deem at risk in terms of obesity, maybe elevated blood pressure, what we're going to do, we're going to refer those persons into the clinic, the pediatric clinic, so that they can be followed up.
The focus of the health fair was on children, and the Lions Club offered glucose testing for students 5 to 17 years of age. Site testing for the children are part of the fair. Nurse Clark taking the kids through the procedure. The Lions Club president Sheldon Colley said it's a labor of love.
We have screened so far in the first hour almost 150 people for glucose. Fortunately, everybody that we screened right now is in the normal glucose level. We had one or two that we had to refer to, so that in itself is a good initiative. And also with partnership with the hospital authorities for the free eyeglasses, the Lion Club will be providing that for all those that are referred from by the doctor that will need glasses, so forth. We will be taking care of that.
Executive Director of the library, Geneva Rutherford, was taken by the response.
We are pleased that the schools supported us with sending out the information to parents. And we really, I know PTAs were advised, but when it's the first time, you never know how it's going to go. And so today has been a wonderful occasion. I mean, just wonderful to see persons coming in and on a continuous basis.
Freeport News reporter Geneva Russell was a tough cookie and got a flu shot. I played the hero and followed. Ricardo Lightborn, ZNS Network News.
Well, a local youth leader is telling his story as he seeks to help others in times of crisis. Sabrina Brown tells us more.
Gospel artist, songwriter, and producer Vanrico Lilji Hanna says his life has been one of trials and tragedies, having suffered many losses and disappointments. He says he wants to use his experiences to help others in distress. Vanrico has put his biography into the form of a book, DVD, and CD titled Still I Rise, which he believes will be a ray of hope to many.
At that time I was so angry. Anyone that said anything to me or did something I didn't like, I would slap them down, you know, and things. And I've came to realize even in society we have a lot of bitter and angry people who don't understand what is. At that age, I didn't really understand what was going on with me. It wasn't until I got saved and God began to deal with me, and He showed me where I was angry because what was taken away from me, my mom, my dad, a marriage was taken away from me. Seeing my children all the time was taken away from me, and a whole lot of stuff were taken from me.
The CEO of Rima Records says he collaborated with some big names in the industry to make this dream a reality.
I have Chris John, which is a Stellar Award winner, Jamie Thomas from Tempo. I have Paul Catalyst, which is a well-known gospel reggae artist out of Jamaica that collaborated with me on this project that helped bring out the best in me.
The project has been in the making for the past 7 years, and Van Rico says it wasn't easy.
At some point I said, well, you know what, I'm not even going to do this no more. To tell you the truth, when I started this project, I thought I would have spent, a couple $1,000s. But I did a calculation of everything that this project cost me, and I'm at 60 grand.
Still I Rise will be officially released on Thursday during a red carpet event at the Galleria Cinema. Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
They have made their presence felt during the Junior Junkanoo Parade, but in recent time they have sat back due to challenges. But come Saturday, they will be back in full force. Tonight they are giving us a glance at their costumes and some insight on preparations. They are back in Junior Junkanoo this year, and despite being a fun group this time around, coordinator for the Beacon School, Sherrod Taylor, shares how excited the children are when it comes time to practice. He says they're eager to hit the parade route.
The children are overly excited. Every morning when we go to practice, before the bell rings for them to come out, they're already ready, and probably some already out there, just excited to get on the road. So I could just imagine their excitement for when we get on the actual parade.
This year, the Beacon School theme is Metamorphosis. Taylor says the bright costumes will tell the story of the many changes in Junkanoo.
We're taking you through the journey of Junkanoo and how it changed. So from thatch to sponge, newspaper, crepe paper, and now we're also incorporating carnival, because it's now Carnival Junkanoo, so it is all incorporated in one.
He predicts that spectators will be pleased with the performance and says the Beacon School will make them proud.
Crowd can see just the same excitement, the same enthusiasm that the Beacon School always has when they're on the parade. So, and maybe even more, because this year I think we weren't in the parade last year, but this year we came back in the parade, and so we're really gonna do the best that we could do. We're gonna put on the best show possible, and we're just gonna have a lot of fun. So they could expect to have fun as well.
Beacon School is always a crowd pleaser. And speaking of one who is not, Ricardo Lightborn is up next with sports.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Sports. I'm Ricardo Lightborn. This one tonight goes out to my godmother down there in New Providence, Van Rail Woodside. Way to go, Vanny. And my godfather right up here. He's on Logwood Road, and that is George McPhee. He's having a great time tonight. Way to go, guys. The Falcons Track Club, they held their annual relays on the weekend at the Plex, and I'm giving them a thumbs up as well. The Falcons relays held at the Plex, and it was fast and used as a measuring event for coaches. Track fans braved the chilly conditions to cheer on the athletes. Race director Nikita Johnson said it was touch and go at one point. The athletes were all excited about getting on the track, and once on the track, the fans were not disappointed.
We were initially worried about the weather. It did call for a few showers and cold front, but it turned out wonderful. I'm thankful for the schools that came out and supported us, and the fans that came out and supported us. Next year we plan a little bit earlier because we did take this on at the last minute. This really was supposed to be Sunlands meet, but they canceled on us. And I decided as a track coach, the kids need to get running for the year, and that no matter what was going to happen, I was going to make this meet happen today.
The Deputy Director of Education, Sandra Edgecombe, was trackside. The support mechanism is essential for our young people and their development.
I encourage them. You know, it's Saturday. Make an effort to parents, to teachers, administrators, and everybody who's got any kind of concern. These are our future, and if we don't show up, things are not going to be best for them. And so I do it, and I've got tons of other things to do, and I had a hard week this week, but you know, they remember, they see you, they want to do better, and your presence is felt.
Also taken into relays was the road warrior, Keith Hanna, winning the half marathon at Marathon Bahamas.
I just going there, try something new from the full to the half. So I say I try to go for a record in the half.
You wanted to win this thing badly, and I know you were game into it. How was the training preparing up to this thing?
Yeah, the training was nice. You know, I was doing like plenty speed work, like 6 miles, very fast, all like that. And I thank God for the victory.
And those guys had a wonderful time. Let's now go to some softball play in the Nico Grand Needed Orchid League. Our Lewis Yacht girls held off Hugh Campbell 6-5, Sunland 7, Freeport Primary 2, and Walter Parker outscoring BMES 13-4. On the basketball side of things, Derek Nesbitt, our Obi Wilshcombe League, Sister Mary Patricia Russell girls shutting out Jack Hayward 26-0. Tabernacle over Grambam Academy 14-8. St. George's Senior girls over Jack Hayward 22-11, and Tabernacle outscoring St. Paul's 13-5. BMES down Igmar Rock 17-15. And also Mary Stott, a good one going to Canada National, 20-5, Tabernacle of 17 boys, defeating St. Paul's 24-11. Jack Hayward with a 21-16 win over BMES, and Mary Stott down Igmar Rock 26-24, and also St. George's over Sunline 31-25. And those guys having fun. And Sheena is not going to learn. She keep picking fights with me, but that's all right, you know. I do love her daily until I get off this set. That's it for sports.